So today's top 5 topic are top 5 character portrayals in the movies that we believe, hey, this can't be topped, right? Now, doesn't mean that it cannot, it's sacred, it shouldn't be touched, right? We're going to, this is just the nature of these movies, we're going to see multiple versions of these characters show up, and that's okay. But what we're saying is, it doesn't matter who you're bringing in next, what's been done can't be bested in terms of how this character has been portrayed. So any other context you guys want to throw in there? Or does that feel good to you?
As usual, and by usual, by the one other time we've done this,
we're 2 for 2.
5-1, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to go same order every time? Or do you want to go...
Absolutely.
Boom. Okay. So...
Actually, no, I'm going to change my answer immediately. Saul's going to go first. You're going to go second. I'm going to go third, but then I'm going to go immediately after.
So we're going to go boom,
kind of snake it. Yep.
Okay, so I will always be in the middle. I like that.
You're always in the middle.
So why don't you kick us off?
So we're going our last...
We're going 5-1.
Okay.
Because we want to build up the suspense for number 1.
Okay. I didn't organize mine, but I'm going to go off.
That's
of
okay.
Mine
go off the cuff.
Yeah, okay, that works.
That's great.
Okay. Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier.
It's excellent.
Okay.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Why don't you think that one can be topped?
Well, I guess we don't really know anything different, so that's fair. But it's like my thought process was like, if I don't really want to see another person like that, that's probably a sign that they're on that one. It's like if I saw some other old man trying to be
in the wheelchair,
right, Charles Xavier, I'd be like, this just doesn't feel right, and that was kind of my thought process. I think the guy that played the younger Charles Xavier did really well.
Yep.
But
let's see, who was that? James McAvoy? Is that right?
Yeah. I thought he did really well, but I think I don't know that I really want to see another person in the wheelchair.
Do the old.
Well, it's almost synonymous too. Like when you think of Professor X, you think of Patrick Stewart.
He could not look more like Professor Xavier.
It's like a perfect casting.
It's absurd.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I love that. All right, Riles.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get a little specific, but I have Toby Maguire's Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. Peter Parker, specifically Peter Parker.
That.
I don't think anyone can nail like the perfect awkwardness of Peter Parker like Toby can. Like he's that geek, but he still gets the ladies. And just the entire process of his mind of going between responsibility and having to balance that mantle of being Spider-Man and the sacrifices that has to take throughout that entire thing and just his journey as a character.
Yeah.
I honestly, Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker is... I don't think we haven't had a better Peter Parker yet. So that's my number 5.
That's a great pick. That's great. None of the Spider-Men even came up in my mind, but I love that pull on your part, and I love how precise it is with Peter Parker in particular. I don't disagree with that at all. My number 5 is also Professor Xavier, old Patty Stewart. Yeah, let's go. I totally agree. I think when someone says Professor Xavier, that is who I picture in my mind. And that's just, at some point, perhaps soon, right? Marvel's going to start sprinkling in the mutants, so we'll get some X-Men characters. So we'll get a version of Professor Xavier. But that's just going to be so impossible to do better than what Patrick Stewart brought. And over a pretty impressive stretch of time, too. Like, he was great in the original X-Men movies. They put him in Days of Future Past. He's still bringing it. He's in Logan, and he's a very, broken version of his character. Yeah. But somehow he still, has that potency where you still believe, this dude has an unbelievable, powerful mind and set of abilities.
Multiverse of Madness, too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was gold. So, love that. Love that choice. All right. My number 4, Captain America. I think what Chris Evans has done is pretty dang good. I'm sure there could be someone a while from now that tries to do one better, but I just see Chris Evans, and it's kind of the same Professor Xavier thing. It's like, that's freaking Captain America right there. Can't get it out of my mind. And I think it's difficult to play that character and have him not just be a cheesy turd where it's like, come on, you can't possibly believe what you just said. No one's that pure, right? Like, no one really means that. But he was able to do it in a really genuine way. And then as the character progressed in those movies, the depth that was added there with, it just felt like he was conflicted more often than not. It didn't feel like a departure. Like, we didn't get like a dark Captain America. We got a Captain America that maybe thought a little bit more about what he was doing. I thought that was pretty cool. So that's my number 4.
Okay. So my number 4 pick, is my only non-superhero pick.
Ooh.
And it's a pop culture pick.
Ooh.
And it's Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wow.
No one will ever be Obi-Wan Kenobi again. Not in this lifetime. Not in any other lifetime. Never.
No multiverses.
Nope, nothing. It's Ewan. It's Ewan and Obi-Wan. He refreshed and brought a history to an already established character, made it better. He was the entire highlight of the prequels. He made the prequels happen, ladies and gentlemen. And then to show his depth in the show and come back and kill it like he did. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi till the day I die. Nobody's beating him. Nobody's beating him.
Love it.
And that's number 4, guys.
Love it.
He should have been higher. Sometimes
It's
I think
okay.
he should have been higher.
You're
but
fine.
It's fine.
You're fine.
That's good.
My
You're
other
good.
3 picks are great.
Nah, you're upset with yourself. Damn it.
I would have never guessed that. Yeah, it was just out of the...
That's great.
Yeah.
Pulling it out.
Yeah.
All right, Saul, what do you got?
I think Tom Hiddleston's Loki would be my number
Ooh.
4. I thought
That's clutch.
he does a really good job, and it's one of those where it's like, I don't think anyone else can do it in the way
Yeah.
that he does. Like, he just has a goofy, like, creepy smile, and the way that he just goes back and forth, like, are you a protagonist or an antagonist? And just the relationship between him and Chris Hemsworth. I think no one can do it better than
Yeah.
he's done it. So that'd be my number 4.
I missed that in this Thor movie. Like, I missed the absence of Loki. I felt that.
Right.
It's like there didn't seem to be he's always been such a balance point for that Thor character, and it maybe part of the imbalance was there's just no Loki, right? To bring him back a little bit.
I would say I feel like even like some sort of pep talk or some
Right?
sort of conversation with Loki would have been
Some kind of flashback,
right?
right?
Like some little piece would have been awesome.
Yeah,
But
no
that's
question.
Number 4,
I love that pick.
and I'm going number 3 now.
Do it.
Okay.
You are.
I'm assuming we all have this, but I'm not entirely sure. Heath Ledger's Joker.
Really good.
I didn't know.
Really
if
good.
everyone
I don't
has
have that one on my list.
Oh, really?
No.
Riley
No,
looks
we'll
like
find
he
out.
might
We'll find
have
out with
that on his
Riles.
list.
We'll find out.
But that,
I agree, though.
I'd
That's
say-
a great pick.
that's been done many times, and no one's done it as well as
No.
Heath Ledger, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So
Yeah, that's. It's gonna be done again.
Well, it'll always be done again.
Multiple times,
Right.
but I can't even imagine how someone can do it better. I can imagine someone trying to do the same thing and doing it well to the point where it's like, hey, that's really good, but he was just so doggone like sinister. Oh,
Yeah. so
it's
good.
just perfect. Like
Yeah.
the scene where Batman is just beating the living daylights out of him, and he's laughing. He's like, you
Right.
have nothing to do with all your strength. Like,
Yeah.
that is such a great line and such a great just encapsulation of the character. He's not supposed to be the physical equal of Batman. He is supposed to be able to best Batman in spite of the gap of physical ability. It's
Which
just
is-
incredible.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even like looking past that movie, I think they knew that no one was going to do as well. Because
Yes.
each of the Jokers after that have been like, oh, we're going to take a new take on Joker. Like, we're not even going to go the
Not
same
even
route.
trying. Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
the scene with this one now
Sure.
that's coming where it seems like they're kind of going to go a similar direction.
Yeah.
But
Who
we'll
knows?
see.
Who knows? Yeah. Love that pick. All right, Riles. Who's your third?
Number 3, I have Michael Fassbender as Magneto.
Ooh, that's
Him, just thinking about X-Men First Class and the way that Xavier and Eric's relationship was like built and like torn apart. Just you feel the oomph whenever he steps on screen. Like you're like, oh, he's gonna get shit done. This is
Yeah.
what we missed in Thor. Okay? Magneto, when Michael Fassbender showed up, you're like, oh, and it comes from a place where it makes sense that he thinks the way that he thinks. Like, you get to see the background with...
He's really well developed
Right.
in those movies.
It's beautifully
really
done.
well developed.
And just, Michael Fassbender's a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect casting choice. Yeah. It's a great pick. Love that. All right, staying in the X-Men theme. For me, it's Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, Wolverine's going to get reimagined at some point. And fortunately, I don't think it will be Hugh. I say fortunately just for his own sake. It's like, you've done your part. Like, go rest in Valhalla, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're good, man. Go hang out with Heimdall and Jane Foster. He is so physically tenacious. Like, it's outrageous. It's outrageous how just powerful he is every time he's in one of those movies. And he's in some bad movies. Like, the X-Men Wolverine Origins movie is objectively a bad movie. He's great in that movie.
100%.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll still watch it for him because his scenes are so dang good.
Yep.
And that's pretty unique, where you can be in a poor movie and still just be crushed. And it's like, this guy's awesome. He's fantastic. I still think my favorite Wolverine movie is probably X-Men 2. That's just, he has some phenomenal fight scenes in that movie where he's tearing through the soldiers that have busted into the mansion. That scene is fantastic. Just laying waste to them. So cool. There's a scene where he, like, jumps from the balcony with the claws, takes guys down,
two guys.
and then sheathes them and puts the hands back down. It's like, all right, let's go. It's like,
Yeah.
just laid low. Just laid low. I can't. It's just incredible. Just incredible. So, bless you, Hugh. You do you. You're incredible. My number 2 is old Bob Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I can't imagine anybody else as Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. Weirdly, like, the only other actor that comes to mind that could have a similar persona would be Sam Rockwell, who played, Hammer in the Iron Man 2 movie. Like, he's got a similar, like, personality where he's able to, like, speak pretty quickly, like, just quip. But Robert Downey Jr. is incredible as Tony Stark. Just absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And so doggone good and so foundational to what the Marvel movies were that I want nothing other than him as Iron Man. And I hope they don't bring him back. Hope they just let it be. I don't think they could possibly do it better than what it's already been done. It's perfect. It's perfect. That's my 2. Riles?
My number 2 is Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
Him burning the money for the shit of it
Oh my
is
gosh.
so funny to me.
Yep.
So, yeah. Screw the government. I mean, we love you.
No taxes. No taxes.
So, but yeah, we already went into his greatness. So,
Yeah.
number 2.
Mine was also RDJ
Yes.
as Iron Man. I would have been excited to see Tom Cruise as, like, Supreme Iron Man in Multiverse. That was rumored, but
Right.
didn't happen, which was okay. But he'll never be anyone else in my mind. Like, that's just how it is. Like, they can take different takes on him. They can do whatever. Have a female Iron Man, which seems like that's probably going to happen.
Sure.
Kind of sure. We'll see. But anyways, my number 1, which I don't think you guys will have guessed.
Ooh.
J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
J. Jonah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
That is
know,
not
not
a
wrong.
pick. Not a pick that I thought I'd hear tonight.
Wow.
So, congrats
Oh,
to
I
you.
love
Great.
it. I love it. You
That's
can't do it
great.
better. He's never even. Yeah, it's amazing.
You're making me want to watch Spider-Man 2 and all of his scenes, like, right now. 'Cause
Oh my
he's
gosh.
so dang good.
He kills it. It's
He's
amazing.
so dang good.
No one can do it better than him.
Where he just
100%.
laughs and he's like, "Wait,
Yeah.
you're serious?"
Yes, it's like a meme. It's amazing.
There's so many memes.
Yeah, he just kills it in every movie. And
Oh.
I call him Dr. Octopus. And you know what? Call him Dr. Octopus. I came up with that myself.
It's so good.
That's outstanding. Love that pick.
Yeah.
Great number 1 that I didn't see coming either. That's great. All right, Riles.
Okay.
Number 1.
Yeah. my number one pick is Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
Come on.
Hands down. This list, I was going through these lists, and there was very few people where I'm like, okay, they're going to get recast, and I'll probably be okay with that recasting. I think this is the only one where I'm like, besides maybe Ewan being replaced as Obi-Wan, if that ever happens, which it shouldn't. But if Robert, it just won't feel the same. Like, it does not matter. Like, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. That was my childhood. The whole reason I got into, half the reason I got into Marvel the way I did. So, yes, Iron Man will never be, Robert Downey Jr. will never be topped. I don't
Can't be beat.
ever.
No, can't be beat. Well, for me, it's Christian Bale's Batman, Bruce Wayne. And I don't say that to say, hey, don't give me more versions of Batman. I loved Robert Pattinson in the Batman movie. It was great. So part of this may just be nostalgia-based, but Batman Begins came out in 2005, Dark Knight in 2008, and then Dark Knight Rises in 2012. So would have been late teens, early 20s for me. And that for me is always going to be the paradigm of who Bruce Wayne in particular is. There's going to be different versions of Batmans that I'm going to continue to enjoy, but Bale is so dang good as Bruce Wayne, as embodying the anguish that he continues to feel, but having the ability to put on not just the Batman mask, but the Bruce Wayne mask and pull that off with such impact and effect is great. I love the character development that took place for him in those three movies. That was outstanding from start to finish. That was so rich. And I really enjoyed the uniqueness of the take on the character in those three movies, where there was a genuine end to Batman, right? Like they're trying to be realistic as you can be with Batman in the real world. But they're saying, hey, if we're really going to lean that direction, this dude's not going to be Batman for 2-3 decades. He's going to do it for a relatively brief period of time. And this made a lot of sense to me when they did it too. It's like, he also has to win, right? Like, it can't be the typical recurring superheroes like, oh, another villain. Like, have either of you guys seen the Lego Batman movie? You still haven't, right?
It's amazing.
Have you seen?
Yes.
It's one of the best. It's so good.
So funny.
One of the funniest parts in that movie is when they've just named Barbara Gordon as the new mayor of Gotham City.
Yeah.
And she is telling all the citizens of Gotham, listen, we need to not need Batman. And she's recapping the last decades of how Batman hasn't actually made anything better because all these villains keep coming up. And so she's running through the list of all these villains that keep escaping from prison and Batman has to put back in prison. Yeah. And there's this background voice of a character that goes, oh, she's making a lot of sense. Yeah. It's okay, there's a genuine absurdity to, wait a minute, if Batman is effective, why isn't he actually making progress? So I liked, to bring it all back to where I'm going with this portrayal of Batman, I like that there is this, hey, there's a genuine win here, right? He gets to the end, he's beaten the villains, and Gotham City is better off for it. It's not just and now the next villain and the next villain. I thought that was a pretty cool, bold take. Because that's certainly not where we're leaning now in the Marvel movies, where it's everybody's alive all the time. So I love that. So there you go. There's my number one. Fellas, that's a really hearty pod. And apparently I've got children crying, so that might be my cue to vamos.
I feel like I have to address real quick. I did not have Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool on there. I feel like I should have.
I know.
feel like I should have.
Wow.
You know what? I completely forgot. I'm going to be completely honest. And then I got to number 3, and I'm like,
Ryan,
what am I doing? So
he's your celebrity that you're going to hang out with, too.
Right. In your defense,
I stumped him twice.
Your picks were great. Your picks were still great.
But I think we just need more. Okay?
Yeah.
That's going to be my excuse.
Yeah,
we need more.
Yeah.
We've only had 2 movies. I love you, Ryan. Please don't hate me.
He'll still hang out with you.
That's where we're at.